The other day, I got invited to attend the bachelorette party of a dear friend that took place in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. I reviewed my options for getting there, and let me tell you, it is not the easiest task. Of course, I could always drive from LA to Havasu, but that would take 6 to 7 hours, and I dislike driving, so I always try to minimize it. I could take a train that takes me about as many hours to get there, but only gets me to Needles, Arizona, from whence I would still need to drive for a little under an hour. Or I could fly a private plane to a nearby airfield. Needless to say, I do not know how to fly planes, and you should be glad for that fact. So I chose the last remaining option, which is to fly to Vegas and then drive for 2.5 hours. And I'm glad I did. A flight to Vegas from Burbank Airport is fast and easy, and they depart nearly every hour. And the views are worth the ticket price alone. I freaking love how Cali looks from the sky. Check it out. This vlog is not about Vegas, but let me give you the honorable mentions to the airport slot machines and the liquor store direction signs first thing out of a plane. Both of those things are very Vegas. I flew in early on a Tuesday morning and I was hungry by the time I got my rental car, so I picked a brunch spot to stop at before heading out to Havasu. The place I went to was called Excellent Breakfast and Brunch. I mean, come on, how can you not go there? And let me tell you, the food was indeed rather excellent. I got an avocado toast, some country-style potatoes, and a side of bacon, and a coffee. I was going to film my meal, but I ate it before I remembered to, so you're gonna have to trust me that it looked good. Once I had satisfied my hunger, I set out on my road trip, which was basically the entire time going through a desert and wondering what would happen to me if my car broke down right now. The views were kind of nice if you're into desertscapes, and I saw a stupid long cargo train, which was kind of entertaining. The place all of the party attendees were staying at was called London Bridge Resort. Now, let me know that the hotel looked cute and was actually pretty nice, although considering its location in the middle of nowhere, it was a little bit pricey. The giant golden carriage in the lobby looked cool, even though I'm not entirely sure why it was there. I got a lake view room, and the views from my windows were actually really nice. So, we're in the London Bridge Resort, and Havasu Lake City. Has a full kitchen. It's got a fridge, it's got a microwave, it's got a dishwasher. What hotel has a dishwasher? A toaster oven, a stovetop, a coffee machine, a fully stocked dish cupboards? Like, what? All right, so this is a lake view, I don't know what, suite, I guess. And check out this lake view. This, my dear friends, is, focus up camera. This, my dear friends, is Lake Havasu. It is beautiful. That's London Bridge. Apparently it is actually from London and they bought it from London for some reason. Who knows why? But yeah, so this resort has 3 pools and a jacuzzi. I have just arrived, so I don't know what else they got. It's got the whole lake right there. It is miserably hot, but the rooms have AC, so there's that. So I got out of that window and look at the view out of this window. It's nice and green and lake. It's almost like I'm not in Arizona. So this is a little living room situation with the TV, and this is the bedroom. How cool is that? Look at this bed. Look at this bedroom. Look at this mirror. So the room is actually kind of really nice for, you know, middle of nowhere. This is the bathroom. Look, they even did the towels cute. This is the tub. And this is the sink, and hello again. Hi. I am sweaty and I'm wearing a SWAT suit, which admittedly was not the move for Arizona, but I was flying into Vegas before driving down here, and planes are kind of cold. So this is where I'm at. I'm about to go get my baggage. I just checked in, about to go get my baggage and change into something more suitable for this weather. But that's the room, and it's pretty cool, pretty exciting. So I'm looking forward to these couple of days here. Very long hotel. Look at that painting. Check out this elevator. Now that's elevator with a view. Your entertainment options mostly include drinking and the lake itself. You can rent jet skis and pontoon boats, paddle boards and bicycles. There are boat tours available to the nearest canyons, a couple of hiking trails in the area if you're absolutely psychotic and would like to walk 4 miles in the scorching sun. There are also 2 casinos in the proximity. London Bridge Resort has a restaurant called Martini Bay, which I must warn you does not believe in serving food after 9 p.m. on weeknights, and an outdoor bar called Kokomo, which similarly closes at 11 p.m. on weekdays. So all the exterior doors in Arizona seem to have this kind of soft thing on top of them because it's so fucking hot that you can't even touch anything.
The concrete is super hot and I'm gonna go down the slide, so I can't wear my shoes. So it's a bit of an experience. Pretty sure I'm gonna have to recover my feet after this for some time. Ooh, Yogi can do this, so can I. Let's go. Check out this view though. Pretty neat.
If you're willing to walk in 115 degrees Fahrenheit, just a short walk away is the Village, which has a lot of cute shops and a couple of restaurants, which also unfortunately do not serve food after 9 p.m. I only got to check out a place called The Chair. It had a fun selection of foods on the menu, and the appetizer under the name of Stinky Toes was hard to resist. Thankfully, it actually turned out to be delicious, unlike, I would imagine, actual Stinky Toes. I'm gonna capture the stinky toes going into my mouth. Yes! You heard it here first, folks. Stinky toes are the chef. Our waitress told us that the flour was also edible, so as any self-respecting foodie, I ate it immediately. It didn't really have much flavor, so I don't have much to say about it. Now, let's come back to the bridge for a moment. It was originally built in the 1830s and formerly spanned the River Thames in London, England. In 1968, for some reason, the bridge was purchased from the City of London by Robert P. McCullough. He had exterior granite blocks from the original bridge cut and transported to the United States for use in the construction of a new bridge in Lake Havasu City. The community first started as an Army Air Corps rest camp. In 1958, McCullough purchased over 3,000 acres of property on the east side of the lake along Pittsburgh Point, the peninsula, intending to develop the land. But the real estate agents could not bring in prospective buyers because the land was far from centers of population and had a very hot, arid climate. Duh. McCullough's real estate agent, Robert Plummer, learned that London Bridge was up for sale and convinced McCullough to buy it and bring it to the area to attract potential land buyers. The initial response from McCullough was, "That's the craziest idea I've ever heard," but after consideration he decided to go ahead and purchase it for £1 million, which was about $2.5 million at the time. How would one bring a whole ass bridge from London to Havasu, Arizona is beyond me. But there it is, there it stands. One of the days we took a speedboat out on the lake and drove to a little cove for some beach time. Coincidentally, this was my first time on a speedboat, and as you can tell from this footage, I was not entirely sure about the experience. Let me say that on the way back I rode in the back of the boat, and it was a lot less bumpy. So if any of you are speedboat virgins, proceed accordingly. The cove was nice and peaceful, albeit barely had any shade, much like the entirety of the state of Arizona. Seriously, have you guys heard about trees? We need more shade. The water was understandably warm. Well, it was an oven hot air and all. By the way, the wind feels even hotter than the static air somehow. Every time a breeze blows, it's like somebody opened a preheated oven right next to you. Alternating between a tiny bit of shade and water, and applying a literal ton of sunscreen upon my body every 30 minutes or so, I managed to survive the day without sunburns or other injuries. I must sit in the shade because it is 105 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. Hello. So I have to sit in the shade and I have to keep wetting myself, not in that way, pervs, just in the lake. But it is actually quite nice. The water is warm. We found a little cove on a little speedboat and we beached it, and now we're just all hanging in this little shallow cove, and the water's warm and it's very peaceful. There's not that many people. Closer to the London Bridge Resort, there are a lot of beach boats and a lot of people, even though there's not that many people here during the week in the middle of summer. I wonder why. But we drove a bit away, and it's fine. It's just us and another party here, and it's chill. I'm chilling. My sunglasses are literally so hot they're burning my face. That's Arizona for you. If that's not an argument to not come here in the summer, I don't know what is. I wish I could tell you a little bit more about the local cuisine, but I haven't really had the opportunity to try much because the first night we focused on drinking, and the second day I ended up having McDonald's, and the third night when I wanted to go to the Martini Bay restaurant, a bartender there was genuinely flabbergasted at the fact that I wanted to eat late dinner on a Thursday, and the only place that served food after 9 was In-N-Out. Friday morning was time for me to leave, so after a couple of days of hanging out on this beautiful lake, it was time to drive back. I would say it is a good place to go to if you are into boating and water skiing and whatnot, but for the love of God, do not go in the summer unless you were raised in a hot climate. I narrowly avoided a heat stroke by a sheer miracle. Even with the pretty views, it was enough Arizona for me. That's kind of pretty, but it's so hot I can feel my tissue cooking. It is 111 degrees today, and that is just not the temperature that humans should exist in. But that being said, it's a kind of a nice desert looking dead landscape with no plants mostly. Don't let these palm trees fool you. And no shade. Absolutely no shade, no water, no way to survive in this heat.